episode. It just drives me nuts because it's not this character is not. There's nothing Italian about it. It's a character. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, I do. Yep.
It's absolutely not. His mother, his father, George, the way he does things. You know, hey, I lent you $5 the other day. Do you happen to have that in your pocket?
Yeah, that's not. No, that's.
But they
I
knew
know
it.
exactly what you're saying. Yeah, but
they knew it. They knew of it, and they kept it going because they thought it was pretty cool. And it just I don't know, was it just to aggravate people or just to keep their interest? But ever since day one, the first time I ever watched the first series, it just drives me nuts.
Oh, that's funny. I think I'm going to be okay. We're going to have extra duties tomorrow morning. It's not a time issue. I'm just talking about I want to be over this cold, and did I see? Because I got to talk to a bunch of people about this who knew. Did I tell you the deal with the? Oh, look, timed ID already. Boy, that 10 minutes went by fast. K4SF.
C1U.
Usually does once we get rolling. The time really it comes up faster and faster. So, did I mention to you the deal about the radio and the B-29? Pretty sure I told you it was all refurbished, actually restored.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find out if they were going to have anybody there to operate it. Did I tell you what I found out about that?
No.
Okay, good. Because I told a bunch of people who were interested for various reasons. Buddy, my friend, and even Scott, who I'm mentioning. Hey, you'll see pictures of the two of us, as a matter of fact, on Fifi, because he's gonna go with me, or I'm gonna go with whatever. He found out about it. He goes, oh, I might like to do that. Let me see if they got any seats left. I thought, okay. But anyway, we're going to do it together. He's got really excellent camera equipment, and he's a very good photographer. So I'll let him document it, and I'll just have fun. Here's where I'm going. So they called me day before yesterday, I guess, and left a message on my cell phone. This is Jeremy from the Commemorative Air Force, and we're doing the manifest, I guess, for the FAA. They have to declare who's going to be on the plane, how many people, their names, and all that kind of stuff, like you would book an airline flight, for that matter. And he says, you ordered the ticket, so on, but you didn't list the rider. Apparently there was a fill-in-the-blank with a rider where people will give it as a gift or something, and they get the reservation and pay for the ticket, but they're not the rider. Of course, I thought, as soon as I heard that, I thought, well, I'm the rider, don't you worry, that's what I'm doing. And I thought, so I called it back to tell him that. And I said, hey, I've an interest in the radio equipment that's in the aircraft because I'm a ham radio operator. And years ago, when they were dedicating the radio room, they invited me down. I ended up meeting the guy that did the work, and I told you about all that stuff. But I said to him, I figured it's my one last chance to ask the question because a couple of ways I tried to investigate and maybe even angle for a chance to put my fingers on the controls of the radios, but it went nowhere. I said, let me ask you about this thing. Will there be anybody operating the radio? And he said, no, there won't. And I said, well, is it still functional? I would think it was. It's completely restored. He goes, well, here's what happened. We repainted the airplane in 2021, maybe, which I thought it looked a little brighter silver the last time I saw the picture, because it really looked pretty drab, the way they had it outfitted. When there was only one flying, I mean, you could do whatever you want. Like the college I went to, when there was a 5-to-1 ratio of boys to girls, some of the girls, the paint job didn't have to be too great. And they were still in big demand, so, but anyway, I don't mean to take a cheap shot, but
I digress.
Yes, I did. I am digressing. And I didn't mean to take a cheap shot, because I was interested in those girls regardless. If it was the fact they were more rare made it only more interesting. But and then I'd hear about the schools down the road at UNC or something, one of the places down there where it's like 2-to-1 girls to guys, and every guy got a date. So back to the airplane. So he said, when we painted it in 2021, they took call that the clothesline antenna. It goes from the top of the tail right up to and then meet the feed-through insulator at the radio, because my dad told me they let like a 300 wire out the back of the airplane when they were in flight to improve the signal strength and so on, and then they forgot one time to reel it in, knock the chimney off the house. I think I already told you that too. So he said we took the antenna off, and they never put it back on. And I thought, I really wanted to say, you know what, I got insulators, I got wire, I'll take care of it when I get there.
I can do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's no problem. I'll climb up the tail somehow, and I'll shoot a line over with my bow and arrow like I do in the trees. I couldn't believe it. I thought the whole thing is not used because you didn't put a wire back between two places where it fits. Anyway, I didn't say it that way. I said, well, it's just one vote from me that you restore the radios. You have something very unique in that aircraft. I'm sure you're well aware there's only, I know, and we all know there's only two of them. There used to only be one of them. But your radio equipment is the reason I'm riding in your airplane, not because I thought I could use it, but it's restored. It's not just a bunch of the boxes. The props, meaning, a prop, not the propellers, but the props, it's not all just sitting there to look right and it doesn't do anything like the other airplanes. All this stuff was completely restored and working, and it seems to me, even if you don't use it every time, it ought to be able to be operated. I mean, it would be nice, because I contacted the airplane from my own home with my own station, and it's a big deal, and it's a big deal to other hands too, so it's a draw.
So maybe we'll think about it.
Well, maybe you will. So I put the bug in his ear, and he's real nice, and I'll tell somebody else when I get there too. You know what he said to me, though? This was interesting. He said, well, I've been waiting to do this for 20 years. I've been interested for at least 20, maybe 25. My dad was a radio operator in World War II, and when that seat was open on the plane, I decided it was time to do this. So I'm getting old. I don't know if I have tomorrow. May not make it next Wednesday. So he said, well, you know what we suggest? Bring something with you, like a picture or something, and just have it with you there, so when you take the flight, it's there. It's like, he's not there, but... And I thought, that would be a nice touch. I said, well, I will be wearing his bomber jacket, even though I'll take it off because it'll be hot. It's pressurized. I don't know if they won't pressurize it at the altitude we're flying.
No, it'll make it chilly by then.
I'll have it on, and no, but I mean it's completely sealed though. They'll have something going on, because it was the first of the bombers, the B-17s. They flew those things at 18 or 20,000 feet, and those guys in the back, it's just two open holes there for the waist guns. It was cold.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe I misunderstood you. Why would you think it wouldn't be cold, even though they're not at altitude of 30,000 feet or anything like that? But even at 10,000 feet, it's colder than it is here.
Yes, it is. But the thing is, B-29, there's no open window.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing was closed up so they could pressurize it in flight, and the guys could just, they're going all the way to Japan and back. Long flight, they don't have to wear all this warm clothing and everything throughout the flight. If they had to deal with, destructive decompression, though, where some guy goes out the porthole or something.
Yeah.
Well, they had some. Well, I know it must not have been damage the airframe, because they took flak hits and things, and just meant you got to put on your oxygen mask.
That's got to be so cool. So you've got somebody who's going to document this whole thing, right?
Yeah, Scott, my imaginary friend, but I'll make sure to take a picture of him too.
Yeah, Scott, right, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Scott will do it. Yeah, I'll just bring Scott along with me.
I'm pulling my eye down when I do that.
Yeah, I know, right. Well, he will take a lot of pictures. He's pretty good at it. He's got, like you say, he's got the right gear, and he drives me crazy. No, here's the deal. I mean, this is what you could pray for him. It's a small thing, but, it's all right. God's in the small spaces too. Right now, the weather report looks like it's going to be raining in the morning and thunderstorms in the afternoon. The good news is we're flying in the morning. However, I would prefer that it wasn't raining, needless to say.
No, this Wednesday, right?
Yes, that's right, this Wednesday. And today would have been perfect.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're not looking for it. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be bad. Okay, it made some rain, but...
Yeah, it just would be a nice bright blue sky and, it's not going to fly all that high. We'll be able to see down to the ground. It'll be something, but it'll be dreary. It's just kind of a shame. The B-17 flight, I lucked out, and the weather was nice that day. Well, you pay your money and take your chances, but it looks like they're going to be there Tuesday or Wednesday. And for whatever reason, the notice I got only mentioned Wednesday initially. So when I checked it and the seat was available, I just took the seat before it went away. And but the folks on Tuesday, it looks like they'll have nice weather. So that's good. I wouldn't wish rain on them, but we'll see. Maybe it'll, it may not be. It may just be coming through the air. Maybe a chance of rain. All I'm looking for is a half an hour.
Well, you might be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be great no matter what. It's an amazing thing to get a chance to do. For me.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm anxious to see that.
Well, I'll have some pictures, one way or the other. K4SO, there's another fast time, 10 minutes.
KC1U. Hey, I wanted to ask you, since I've been watching a bunch of YouTubes on the amplifier and stuff. Apparently, there's also another board, power supply board. Are you aware of that? I mean, with all that stuff?
No, there are two power supply boards that are in there, and you take them both out and replace everything that was on the two of them for high voltage with one board.
No. I meant manufacturer. Supply, right?
What are you saying? You mean aftermarket stuff?
Board, they replaced it.
You're talking about there are two boards to replace?
No, people. I've read a lot about this other one. I haven't run into your guy, the one that you said Hellwig or something like that. I don't have it in front of me. It's upstairs on my desk. But this guy's he does the same thing as power supply boards, and he sells them. And it's a whole kit. But have you heard of that one?
It's probably Arbach.
Arbach, yep.
Yes, of course. I have his stuff in my SP220. 220, yes. I've got his soft start. He makes a metering board, which is better than the one that he makes, but I've had no problem with mine. I did not replace that yet. But he also makes they have a stack of capacitors that all they have on that is it's a block and like a fixture that holds the capacitors, and then they have the bleeder resistors on it, but then they also make a diode board. But in the Collins that you're getting, they have one board that has diodes and equalizing capacitors and resistors, I think, on it, because in those days, the quality control wasn't that good. They weren't, from one to the next, the diodes, there was variance in their behavior, so you use this to equalize them. These days, they don't need that anyway. So that was a separate board. Then the capacitors were on a separate board. The replacement I've suggested to you from Young Kim, he consolidates both of those sets of components onto one board. So you take two out and you only have to put one in.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So, and they're modern parts. The other thing that he includes is the bias supply is just a halfway rectifier. It's just a diode and a filter capacitor. Basically, that's it. And that's how you get negative bias to bias the tubes off. He sends a modern capacitor and newer diode with it and suggests that those parts be changed as well while you're in there. And that's trivial. It's a little terminal strip, and you just change two parts.
Right. Okay. Did you say? Was it? Do you have 572s in there or 811?
No, they're 811A. They're the original factory tubes.
I've read a lot about the 572s. Is that worth doing?
I wouldn't do it right away. I put them in mind because at the time I got it, whatever. At the time I got it, I decided I didn't want the 811s because they have lower plate dissipation. But if you run, which you will, sideband only, or sideband and some CW, there's really no problem. I mean, there's ones that have been in there for 40 years. They're still good. There's other people that blow them up in no time. It won't take forever to tune it up. If you have any trouble, I have 2 sets of spare tubes for this type of amplifier, and I will immediately make 1 set available to you if you have any problems. I know the ones in there are good, and they're the U.S. ones. They're not Chinese. They're actually better than a lot of the replacements you could buy these days. In fact, my 572Bs I bought were Chinese. They worked well. They've got lots of plate dissipation. They don't make any more power. Doesn't make a bit of difference as far as power output, but you've got more overhead in the plate dissipation. However, my feeling is, having not even used them that much, that I've really taken the edge off the emissions in the tubes. They are just not as easy to drive and as lively as when I first got them. And so a lot of the ones you'll find that are available, that's where they're coming from. And you may find they don't even act as good as the 811As after a bit in terms of power output. And but you're covered. If you have any trouble with the ones that are in there, I'll give you a set of these spares that I have, which are also 811As. 1 set is Chinese, which came in my amplifier, but they worked good. They were almost brand new. And the other set is I forget the brand. The Citron 572Bs were the popular brand for the U.S., but the 811As, I think the RCAs were considered pretty good. I don't remember the other brand, but Collins will have used quality tubes and tubes that are designed. The 811As and the 572Bs have to be designed to be run in a horizontal orientation. They have to have the filaments braced and so on, and even the grids, but especially the filaments, or they will sag and then they'll short out internally.
Didn't the Kenwood 942, didn't it have 572s? It did, didn't it?
No, it had 3 500Zs.
3 500Zs, okay, that's right.
And your SB200 had a pair of 572Bs, and a pair with enough plate voltage on them will do the work of 4 811As and still have more plate dissipation.
Yeah, I remember that on the Heath kit.
Yeah, and that was the way they made the 200 more affordable. They used a less expensive tube, smaller cabinet, but at least the cabinet just could flip the top open and then take the internal RF shielding off and work on it that way. The 220, you've got to set it on end up on like blocks of wood to keep the connectors from touching the tabletop and making it unstable, and then slide the cabinet off. The pain.
I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you can run sideband and CW with that thing, 600 watts, really all day long. You just don't tune it up for too long. That's the only thing that will be a problem, and you won't do that. You'll get a feel for it. As you get up to 10 meters, though, there is no vernier on the plate tuning control. So it's very touchy as you go up in frequency. On 80, it's easy. It's a piece of cake. 40, no problem. Even 20 is pretty easy. But as you get 15 a little bit, and by the time you're on 10, it doesn't take that much to find the spot or to move away from the right spot. So, but you just, you tune it for a few seconds, and if you're not quite there, you take a break, let it cool off, unkey it, and then do it again.
Just like talking to my wife.
I hadn't thought of that comparison.
That's the first thing that hit my head.
Yeah, that's actually quite good. You just try it for a few seconds, and then let things cool off for a few minutes, try again.
You see what reaction she's going to have to that, and then try a little more and see what happens.
Yeah, you could increase the drive a little bit.
See? Everything revolves around life.
Yeah, there you go. Either that or been around ham radio too many years.
So,
that's funny.
you'll get a kick out of this. Michael had, I gave him a penknife. It was this really cool penknife.